holidays to all. Hi, my name is Celia Zenaida Aborro, and exactly a year ago, on December 14, 2010, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office approved my patent application for a set of 60 original playing cards called the Hot, Rich, and Famous Playing Cards. There were a lot of celebrations and feasting in my home in Quezon City, Philippines. Today, there would be none of it but the lingering grief and disbelief at the aftermath of my visit to the World Wildlife Fund headquarters in Washington, D.C. last November 28. But before I go into the less than merry Christmas tale of my experience with the World Wildlife Fund, let me give you a brief background. The hot, rich, and famous playing cards motif is the hot chili pepper. Christopher Columbus discovered the magical fire eater's rose bush somewhere in Brazil or Venezuela, took the seedlings back in Spain, where high up in the monastery of Seville, Spain, monks cultivated in deep secrecy the plant. But there was no stopping the popularity and the spread of the hot chili pepper. Today, there are staggering numbers of hot chili pepper lovers all over the world. They cannot eat without including this in their food, and that would include me. There are 20 countries featured in the hot, rich, and famous playing cards. Into this, I also included the country's hottest chili pepper and the country's hottest recipe. For example, we have Jamaica. Jamaica's hot chili pepper is called the 5-alarm Scotch bonnet. Jamaica's hot recipe would be the jerk chicken with magical yam and journey cakes, reportedly a favorite of the world's fastest runner, who claims that it gives him that extra edge. There are many more details in the other countries I featured. For example, Mexico's hot chili pepper would be the macho. The hot recipe would be the hot devil sandwich. Thailand would be the pricky and the red crab in curry sauce, and so on. But there would be other details and stories. Each country would own their own trivia and their own stories, and that would make the playing cards value-laden, which means that there is something for just about everyone. Now, let us take China, for example. This is China's card. And this is China in larger details. When you think of China, you think of porcelain, the magnificent blue and white, which was the first true international export commodity. And then the polychrome wares, which would mean 5 colors, and which was a technical breakthrough in the making of porcelain. And China also has one of the most compelling and historic but bittersweet love story. This is about the Persian pepper pendant, which would make this, in the hot, rich, and famous cards, the highest value card. And why is that? Because this is not only a story of a bittersweet love, this is about the Persian hot chili pepper that was a replica of the hot chili pepper eaten by traders along the Silk Road, and which was given to this beauty, a Kashgar captive, by a madly smitten Qing emperor called Qianlong. In all these details, thorough research was essential. It was essential because it gave more wings to my imagination. It shaped the design elements, the colors, and all the wonderful detailed work that you can see, and that I hope someday you could have the hot chili pepper cards in you. And in all these details and in all this trivia, I also included something deeply personal, and this would the World Wildlife Fund presence would come in, because this deeply personal advocacy would concern saving endangered species. I chose 8 countries to represent species laws and species conservation measures, and these are Australia with the barrier reef and the great white shark, which is diminishing in numbers. South Africa, the painted dog, critically endangered, and the rhinos. Singapore, which is making headway into their saving of the orangutan. And of all the cards in the hot, rich, and famous cards, the Philippines will be the main piece de resistance. And why is that? Because the Philippines here would not be only in the cards. I also painted this in large murals. The 2 developments this year that would raise the bar in my in my personal advocacy to save the species. In the Philippine cards, you can see that in the fauna and flora saving grace card, I put in the endangered, critically endangered serpent-eating eagle, the tarsier, the adorable tarsier, the marsh crocodile, lolong, which the National Geographic declared as the world's largest, the tamaraw, and in the marine life I put the sea cow and the dogong. What is new in this is that I initiated a color code, the first ever, a breakthrough. The color code would serve as an alarm and alert indicator. It would embrace the guesswork in where most of these creatures in the endangered list would be. And I also started TARA. TARA is Targeted Advocacy Restorative Art. It is art that cares for a cause. It is art that I would like to, for other artists to have a participation, because anything to save these endangered species would be wonderful. Tara art also was driven by news this year, that appalling news that really truly outraged me. Down in the south, thousands of hectares of marine life were decimated, plundered by poachers who took away very slow growing black corals. Here I put them in pink, and ocean-going turtles, which were removed with their young, placed in airless container vans, turned upside down to die an agonizing slow death. With this, I went to the United States. In mind, I wanted to visit the World Wildlife Fund. I did my homework. I read what I could read about the organization. I also saw their line products, and a thought, an idea came to my mind. Perhaps a featured artist series focusing on various artists around the world. This would give it some kind of a biodiverse appeal. This would also fit into their local to global strategy in their transformational conservation program. I went to the offices on November 28th. Since I had no appointment, because I really wanted to personally go there to ace one, I was told by the very charming front desk receptionist, who was favorably impressed with what I brought, that he would call someone in the merchandising department, and she did. The man who answered it said that there were others before me, and that if there's anything that I would like to leave for him to look over, that I should do that. And so I dealt my best hand. I left behind a prototype of my playing cards, my patent, a copy of my patent, the book of product lines. This is 134 pages. A copy of the playing instructions, and then I thought that they would really take an interest, that there would be curiosity, that they would surely know that I did extraordinary hard work in all of this. I waited. There would be no meeting. There would only be this. A message left in my answering machine that World Wildlife Fund would only deal with corporate partnerships. I was shocked. It didn't make sense. It seems to me I was in the same page as them. It seems to me that I would be in the same fit, because all over Washington, D.C., you could see their declarations of trying to make individuals come and participate in their conservation efforts. As a matter of fact, in their annual report of 2011, they said at the back of this that from the smallest community to the largest multinational organization, we seek to inspire others who can advance the cause of conservation. We seek to be the voice for those creatures who have no voice. We speak for their future. We speak to apply the wealth of our talents, knowledge, and passion to making the world wealthier in life, in spirit, and in living wonder of nature. I answered their call. I thought I was in the same page. I thought I was a fit. But I was dismissed, ignored. There was not an ounce, a smidgen of interest, nor curiosity about all what I have done. One broadcast journalist would say that it would not take exaggerated exertions at efforts to have made something like this more pleasant. It would have produced good feelings of goodwill. It would not have come to this. It would not have produced a very sad and less merry tale of Christmas about the World Wildlife Foundation and me. So, I'm appealing to the public, anyone who knows an organization, an institution, an individual who thinks that I'm really trying to make a difference, and I have the starter kit to prove it, to make the difference, to come and help me launch all these products that I produced, and my dream of returning the mangroves back in my island by establishing a mangrove seed bank in the future. Thank you very much. And for my Pinoy kababayans and Pinay kababayans, masama ang ginawa nila sa akin. Pinaliwala nila ang trabaho ko sa dito. Kaya, suportahan niyo ako. Give your opinions, give your suggestions, solutions, because galing Pinoy din ito. Nakakaiba, pero galing Pinoy. Salamat, maraming salamat, at Merry Christmas. You can reach me at my 2 email accounts, C Aborro, ABORRO, @gmail.com, Celia Z Aborro @gmail.com. Thank you very much.